This is your official Leguizamo. Spoiler warning if you've not seen Lugar Heights. And we will be spoiling it.
You've gone very Richard Mercer with this spoiler warning. Why's that? Is this the vibe?
Yeah, I think it might
Are we going to go into the podcast with this vibe?
Well, let's find out after these short messages.
Yes. I hate the word.
Hello and welcome to Mish and Zach's Leguizamo Rama, a podcast where each week I get together with my friends Zach and Tom and we chat about something that John Leguizamo has been in, be it a TV show or a movie. Heck, sometimes he does voiceover work for commercials. My name's Mish. You might know me from the word Luga reminding me of boogers. I'm joined as always by my friend Zach, who you might know from.
I guess Luga, when I looked up Luga, it came up with Lex Luger, a wrestler.
Right.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
It is really interesting. I mean, I can't commit to my energy.
Well, no, I think you've made a bit. I've made a bit. Let's stick
No, I can't. Your bit's so much more comfortable. Maybe I can just really subtly go into that kind of... There we go. I've done it.
Or you could do it like you just did it.
Yeah, I've done it now.
Wow.
Would you like to read us that little blurb that you got
I think
there?
we need to introduce Tom.
I did introduce Tom. I said I was here with my friend Zach and Tom. Did I not?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Tom's here. Hello.
Hello. And Luga's a gun, isn't it?
Maybe.
That's what I reckon.
That's interesting, isn't it? All the ways that when we hear a word or a sound, we think different things. And I suppose that talks a little bit about, when we have all these disagreements online and arguments, maybe we're talking about different things. Maybe we actually...
There's a big BookTok drama right now happening on the TikToks.
Is there, Mish?
Yes, there is. Read your blurb and then I'll tell you about the BookTok drama.
You want to do BookTok then blurb?
It's up to you. Which one do you think is best?
Yeah, I don't leave the listeners hanging, Mish. They want to know about your big talk.
This is my BookTok. So there's a corner of TikTok called BookTok.
Yes.
And I occasionally dippeth my big toe into the BookTok world, right?
Mish just loves horny shit.
Yeah, because sometimes I like to read and or listen to an audiobook that's a bit of a just like a little bit of a cunty, sexy novel, right? And usually they're thrillers, but I don't tend to like it unless there's horniness in there somewhere, generally, right? Anyway, there's a big section of TikTok that's dedicated to that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of the time I get a lot of book recommendations from TikTok. Isn't the modern era gorge? So that's where I get my book recs. Anyway, I was in and amongst TikTok and this girl pops up and she's like, this is my official apology. Very serious. She's clearly been weeping. This is my official apology. Yesterday I posted a paid promoted, like a paid content ad essentially, saying that you can take your favorite book character and turn them into AI. And then you can take that AI image and make that AI image talk to you, which is AI, obviously. So basically somewhere there's an app that's like you type in your favorite book character, all their different things and what you want them to say and do, and it will show you that. And you can have all these horny men from all these books become your little AI boyfriends.
The plot of Her.
Yeah, a bit like that, except it's a little visual thing.
But with Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, that's right. So say if I wanted to take one of my hot fucking cowboy guys, right, from my horny cowboy books, I could make that hot cowboy into an AI that goes, hello, Mish. Like, you look beautiful today, honey. Why don't I'd like to throw you against this hay bale and
you start wearing
and lap up your core.
And you start wearing spectacles.
Yeah.
And just looking like Joaquin Phoenix in Her.
Yeah, true. Can you imagine? But then also my AI boyfriend would say stuff like, don't worry about breakfast. I've got it made for you. It's downstairs in the kitchen that I also painted for you because it was looking run down and I bought you a new car. And you're so little and shy. That kind of stuff, right? That's what my AI boyfriend would say. Anyway, so this girl was obviously paid by this app to do an ad for this. And then the whole of BookTok came for her because she was promoting AI, which is obviously not great for authors, illustrators,
All that.
publish all of that stuff. And then so she had to issue an apology. And today I've been fucking tits deep in BookTok drama.
I love a drama. I love an apology first. I love when you see the I'm getting it a lot on my Instagram where I see the apology in my algorithm for a band I've never heard of. They're like, "We are so sorry. We've let our fans down." I'm like, I've never heard of you.
Yeah.
Best one was a guy that was like, "I'm so sorry. When I was recreating the makeup of all the Eurovision performers, I wanted to look accurate." I was like, "What?" Didn't even know who the makeup was of. Had no context, but it was a big apology. That's awesome, Mish. That's an awesome story about a girl who took on an AI sponsorship and then got cancelled.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
No
for
problems.
sharing it.
Would you like to read us the blurb? Should we go to an ad break before the blurb so it's a nice little split up, or is it too early?
5 minutes in.
Is that a little early?
Slam him.
Sorry?
Slam him.
What's that mean?
Slam him with that.
Slam him with your dick.
What?
What?
I was just I was doing for shits and giggies, right? That was a little shits and giggies moment.
That's a little bit.
What do you mean by slam? Slam the ads?
Slamming
5
them with
minutes in,
ads.
there's a lot of ads in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But why not?
But
All
why
right.
not?
No, I'm
But Tom's-
Everyone just skips forward 30 seconds anyway.
exactly.
So
Get
why
your
not do
skip
it
forward
now?
buttons ready.
Yeah.
Get your skip forward buttons ready. We're about to play an ad. Wow. That was a really good ad. I like the bit where they talked about
Joining the army?
joining the army and how great the Liberal Party is.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what I think's a really cool feature that they brought into podcasts? Is that they contact us first and ask us what ads we'd like played. Every ad. When they say, like, can you please select the ads? And we go, sure. Do you have any on the National Party? Some Clive Palmer. I'd love some Clive
it used
Palmer
to be like
in there.
an opt-out system where you'd say, broadly speaking, I don't want ads like this in front of my podcast. And then from time to time, there'd be a slip-up. And then everyone in the DMs would be totally chill about it.
Yeah.
But now they let you pick. So we can pick army, oil, coal.
Yeah. All of them.
Weapons.
Yeah, weapons are good ones.
Sometimes I'll look at something and I'll go, oh, this seems like a pretty boring company. But then I'll like follow the trail and go, oh no, they invest in weapons. Yes, please.
Please. Oh, God. The only thing that would make this podcast better, the only thing is gun chat.
Luga.
Yeah, Luga chat. Speaking of, go on then.
So Lugar Heights, all right, I'm going to own it. Sometimes, no, I don't pretend, but I'm just going to own it. I didn't write a blurb because on the trip here I said, which blurb am I writing? Because we're recording 2 Leguizamo today. And I said, which blurb am I writing? And I was pulling in the Uber as I got the message of Lugar Heights. So I am, and then, well, actually, no, I wasn't pulling in. I
Just
was
make it up
around
off
the
the top of your
corner.
head.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, you can do
But
this.
now I'm explaining the story of
sorry.
why I don't have it.
All right, go on then.
I hope that's okay. Is that
Of
okay?
course, yeah.
Because then I looked up Lugar Heights to get info for my intro. Hard to find. All those other things we thought of, they came up first. Lugar Heights is an American animated comedy television series that started its life as a web series, webisodes, in around 2001. And then eventually made its way onto Galavision, Mun 2, and MTV Trez. It tells the story of 4 teenagers living in Lugar Heights and attending Lugar Heights High School. And it is done in a very flash animation style. We found we couldn't watch them all, or maybe we did, I don't know. Mish found a playlist of them, and we watched that.
Yeah, there's a playlist on YouTube where you can watch around about 2.5 hours worth of Luga Heights.
That might be all of Lugar Heights.
No, I don't think they weren't full episodes of with little clips.
I think they were.
Really? No, not all of them. One of them was 45 seconds.
Yeah, but I think the longer ones were full episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think they were. I think it was a web series.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it had a titles. Some of them had titles and...
Well, that's what we managed to watch.
Yeah. It was so good.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
What was your favourite part?
I love watching cartoons from 30 years ago. I love this podcast. I love doing it.
Yep.
And I will say we did record 2 this week. Now, is this one coming out before the next one?
Yes. Yeah.
So next week you'll find out what we watched. So I had a whole day of this playing in the background. And can I please give away what we're watching next week?
Yes.
Really? You want to already?
Oh, I just want to give it away so everyone can know how awesome of a day I've had.
Yeah, go on then.
So today, I did my taxes. I had this playing in the background for 2 hours. And then for 3 and a bit hours, should have been 4, I did skip a couple of minutes. I'm sorry, Mish. We got to watch a Rayman playthrough. Oh, it was so fun. It was the best.
Look, it wasn't the best pair up, to be fair, in terms of variety.
Yeah, I know, because if it would have just been 1, that would have only been 4 hours of fun. I did some laundry. And Mish, maybe I didn't absorb all of the stories and plots of this series.
We're coming to the end of Legos Arborama, so we're dealing with a lot of the, like, I don't want to call them dregs because some of them are actually
We
pretty good.
saved some good stuff, you know.
But a lot of this, we have saved some good stuff. But a lot of the stuff we've watched in the last few weeks is also met with Zach going, I didn't absorb this one so
And
much.
fair enough too.
Oh, mate, this one was a hard one to absorb because it's old.
But also in the way that you consumed it, like little clips and some 45 seconds, some long. Like that's
Well,
going
it
to be
had-
like, what the fuck?
It had a lot of, not completely, but a lot of a similar vibe to Fairfax, which we watched recently, which is a bunch of kids doing, like a bunch of teenagers or preteens doing a bunch of teenager stuff. And I consumed a lot of Fairfax when we watched that.
Yeah.
But it also gave the vibe of Newgrounds animation. It was flash animation.
Oh, right.
I think
Like Powerpuff Girls.
No, like computer, like online internet web animation. Remember the animation we used to watch when we were like 11 or
Yeah,
12?
like stick death and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of in that realm. And I didn't understand that that's what it was meant to be. I was really confused for a minute. Yeah, sorry I didn't absorb it, guys. I know the listeners are sitting at home going, oh, but I want to know your thoughts about Lugar Heights.
I can give some thoughts.
I can give some thoughts too, Mish. Why don't you start?
All right, so I thought that the humor, so this was very much comedy, like very comedy driven, I felt. And I felt like the comedy was made for kids. As in, not like Santiago of the Sea, which we watched last week, was made for babies.
Oh, what a good few weeks this has been.
Which was made for babies. This one was more so made for like 13-year-olds, I felt.
Yeah, some rude words.
And some naughty words, bum. They said butt a couple of
I
times.
think it was that quite rude, wasn't it? I thought it was more in the South Parky kind of way.
No, I didn't get any fucks or anything.
But like the Indian guy was very offensive.
Yeah, that was pretty offensive. But that's offensive. I wouldn't say they're like,
But like
swear
some of
words.
the references were pretty rude.
Yeah, maybe. I felt like it was kind of, for lack of a better word, a bit juvenile.
Mish, really?
Yeah, it didn't really do it for me.
Really?
But there was one character, I believe her name was China,
Yeah, she was fun.
and I liked her a lot. She was just a fun character. I'd cosplay.
You would cosplay as China from Lugar.
Yeah, someone would figure it out.
But you would.
No. No, absolutely, I would not.
You'd have to explain to everyone who it is.
Yeah, that's
Plus
true.
it would be racially
But plus, it would be
insensitive.
really insensitive of me. But no, she was a lot of fun. She kind of did a lot of back chat and was a bit stupid. Actually, now that I think about it, they did booby jokes and stuff too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was rude. It was like it was that era of, it was a combination of like internet humor and also like after South Park blew up in the early 2000s, there was like a whole bunch of cartoons that were like rude because that's what people were thinking South Park was about. This also, had, cultural.
Do you know that they're still making South Park?
Yeah, I know.
It
I watch
just
sometimes.
keeps going and going.
Yeah.
It's because I was never a South Park girly.
Have you ever gotten into South
So
Park?
Matt, the partner,
The partner.
The partner. He used to love South Park. It was like his favourite show when he was 13, 14, whatever.
I'm surprised you never went through any sort of
Never.
South Park phase.
No. Well, my mum hated it. So I wasn't like a hugely restricted kid, but my mum hated South Park, and we were a one TV family, so it was just never on. Ever. But then like every once in a while I'd see an episode, oh, yeah, it's funny. And Matt took me through his like maybe 5 to 10 favourite episodes a few months back. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then the other night I was watching free-to-air television, and one of them popped up somewhere. Oh, no,
What are you doing
on
watching
Paramount.
free-to-air television?
I work in free-to-air television now.
Yeah, but no one... I've done free-to-air television and I don't watch it.
Yeah, but I find it... I'm fascinated by it. Yeah. Also, I watched Survivor free-to-air.
I watched Gruen the other night because I directed the Gruen ad.
see, like you just watch things.
And I was like, and there was like an ad for Spicks and Specs. Oh,
That ad was very good, by the way, the one you directed.
thanks.
That was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
And I watched
if you're listening and you're an ad person, hire me for ads.
Yeah, do it. But he's very good. He's a very, very, very talented director.
I don't think anyone listening is going to hire me for an ad.
They could. So anyway, I watched this episode of South Park, and fuck, man, it really was very full on. Like,
Yeah.
they tackle some really full on shit in this one.
The level with which you're talking about South Park right now is crazy to me. It's not so much that you haven't watched much of it, but you're talking about it like it had no resonance or no impact.
No, I knew, but like I think the period in which it came out and it was very popular, I was a little bit young, like to really take it in. Oh God, hello Lena. Sorry, 1 sec. We're just recording an episode. Thanks.
Do you want to come talk about Lugar Heights, Lena? Do you want to just jump in?
What is it? We're talking about Lugar
Lena's
Heights.
jump in. Talk about Luna Heights.
Yeah, that's fine. You look lovely.
We're actually talking about South Park. Everyone, bit of a sneak peek for next week. Next week's guest, Lena Moon, is in the building.
Hi.
Sit down, Lena.
This set looks great.
Doesn't
guys.
it look good?
Cool.
Come on, take a seat. Hello.
Would you like to record a little bit of the week before's episode?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on it is that 5.
5. You give it 5. I was thinking more like maybe like 3, 2.5. But hey, no
But,
judgment.
what can I say? I'm a huge
We're actually
fan.
we're talking South Park. You a South Park person?
Yeah.
So I was saying that I never watched it when I was younger.
Okay.
And I feel like there was a big period of my life where I didn't watch it at all. And then I've just kind of started watching it a bit. And all of the
Sure.
things that people dealt with South Park when they were in their teens,
You're
Yeah.
going through
I'm
them.
now processing going, whoa, it is full on.
So
Yeah.
Mish, I'll tell you, I'll give you, you might know it better than me. This is crazy. I didn't know she
Yeah,
didn't
what
know.
made you just go, I'm doing it, I'm picking South Park up?
Matt was like, it was like, so if I've had a really, really long day at work and he's had a really long day, we can only take in bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Little easy things. We've watched all of Survivors. There's none coming out. RuPaul's Drag Race is only coming out once a week, and so we need stuff.
Yeah.
And so a few months back,
And
Matt
he
was
said,
like,
please let me pick one.
yeah, pretty much. No, hey man, he
I know he
chose
likes
RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's, I know.
So he was like, well, if we just want little short episodes or something, we can watch some South Park. There's some new ones or some shit. And I was like, well, I've never watched any of the old ones. And he was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
This is crazy to me.
And I was like, only like little episode bits and pieces here and there. I never like watched a lot. And then so he introduced me to his like top 5 to 10 favorites.
Can I talk you through a little bit about the history of South Park, Mish? Now, I'm no South Park expert,
Yeah.
but just a little bit of context.
Yeah.
So I watched a little bit of South Park. I watched South Park season 1 and 2, and before it got big, and then it got big, and then everyone's mums hated it. So then I wasn't allowed to watch it, right? So I wasn't allowed. I knew about South Park for about 2 years before everyone else because I'm cool and smart like that.
Yeah.
And then when it was big and everyone had Cartman backpacks, I was not allowed to watch it through all of that time. That's not quite the history. The history is
That's Zach's history.
during that window of it being really big, the two creators kind of left for a little bit. They went and made Basketball, and they didn't write a
And
season.
Biodome, is that the same people?
No.
No, that's Pauly Shore.
Yeah, very different.
I saw him do
Orgasmic.
stand-up
Orgasmo.
recently.
That's the one I was
I
thinking.
saw Pauly Shore do stand-up in person
Oh, wow.
recently.
How was it?
Person.
He opened with, are you supposed to talk about stuff you see at the cellar? They take your phone away.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's meant to be like a big secret, but I'm pretty sure he was on mushrooms.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Also, he's the son of the person who owns the Comedy Cellar. Did you know
Is
that?
he?
Pauly Shore is.
Didn't know that.
It's a Nepo baby.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more of the history of South Park to tell me before we
Sorry.
wrap this episode?
Well, I haven't told you any of the history.
Well, I'm sorry. Tom just did this, right? Which I think means wrap it up.
Correct.
There you
Okay,
go.
because this is a weird episode right now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up. You've had a little sneak peek of Lena. Lena's going to be joining us next week. We're going to wrap it up. And next week, we're going to be talking all things South Park with Lena and me.
Okay. So,
Oh, no.
do you have any final thoughts on Lugar Heights?
No final thoughts on Lugar Heights, but is this the worst episode of Mish and Zach?
Hey, we did some good chat about BookTok drama.
That's true.
I thought that was fascinating.
I thought that was good. I feel like I'm tired and I didn't enjoy watching this cartoon for 2.5 hours. And then Lena came in and I just let her sit down. And I think,
Okay, well, you guys did invite me to be here, so I like.
yeah, no. I think this is all my fault. I just think it's a weird episode.
Look, I wouldn't say it's bad. Weird, I would say, is about right.
Weird.
It's weird, but it is the first time someone's come in 3/4 of the way through an
Hey,
episode.
and
That kind of
maybe-
interesting.
Sorry?
What?
I have one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're producer Tom.
Also,
your dad.
I feel like, let's be real about this. You might have found a new way to do podcasting.
That's
maybe
true.
you love a little. Maybe they love a little cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know, cut to black.
Whatever is the history of South Park? I can't believe I have to wait a week.
Via Zach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you don't have any final thoughts on Lugar Heights, do we want to do Leguistamos?
Final thoughts are no final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts?
I thought that it was really interesting to see John Leguizamo do voice work for this. I was about to say earlier in his career, but it was around about the Ice Age era as well. But I think it was before Ice Age kind of kicked off.
My final thoughts is a question mark. Is like this was Hollywood Guizamo phase. He was like on the rise. So I am fascinated what he was doing fucking webisodes.
It's 6 episodes, and I think that it was a day.
and he
Again, 2
likes
days.
to help. He likes to
He likes to work.
Yeah,
likes
loves
to
a work.
I give this 5 Leguistamos.
Okay, I'm giving it 3.
What did he do in it?
Sorry?
What was he in it?
He was the
Is he a
voice.
star of it? Or?
Yeah, he was the voice of one of the
Okay,
kids with the
okay.
funny hair.
That's good context.
And I
His
think
name is
maybe
Spanish
he did-
Fly. That
I
was
think
the
maybe
name of
he did
the
some.
character.
I suspect he maybe did some of the racist characters as
Yeah,
well.
I didn't want to bring that up, but I think he did.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Leguizamarama.
Hey, would you watch it, Tom? Leg was a more, please. Leg was a
No,
no.
it doesn't sound very good. You haven't sold me with this weird episode.
Join us next Tuesday for the Mish and Zach podcast, where we will have a very special guest. Secret who it is, though.
I'll never tell.
And also,
Shush from you.
and also, we'll be talking all things South Park. The Mish and Zach podcast is recorded on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We believe that our collective culture will never reach its full potential until we embrace the history and the truth of the oldest cultures of this land.